empowering SMEs through transformation.
All right, thanks for joining us on Money FM 89.3. In the wake of the latest budget measures, how are Singapore SMEs reacting? And what real difference will the support make on the ground? We take the pulse of business sentiment from caution to optimism and examine how companies are navigating cost pressures, expansion plans, and growing uncertainty. From AI adoption and job transformation to overseas ambitions and mindset shifts, we explore what it truly takes for SMEs to scale with confidence in the year ahead. And joining us for this conversation, we've got a panel. Let's say good morning first to Chen Ling. He is the Group Head of Corporate and SME Banking for DBS. Good morning, Ling.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great having you on. And next to him, we've got Eric Sim, founder of the Institute of Life, which is a career and personal development training company. Good morning, Eric.
Excited to be here.
Great to have you as well. And last but not least, Ting Feng, CEO and co-founder of GetGo, a car-sharing platform. Feng, good morning.
Good morning. Great to be back.
Great to have all of you here today. So let's start first with, I guess, your initial reactions to the budget measures announced. Let's start first with Ling. What do you see in terms of the budget that stood out for you, and how is that going to help SMEs deal with the challenges ahead?
First of all, I'm glad to see that there is some immediate relief, and that comes in the form of the corporate income tax rebate. Many SMEs are concerned about the high operating costs, so this tax rebate will be welcomed by the business community. When I look more broadly at the overall budget, I find the budget to be strategic and forward-looking. For the business side of the budget, the intent is very clear. This budget is designed to enable for enterprise transformation, to support Singapore businesses to be future-ready. After all, strong companies will boost the economy and create high-value jobs in Singapore. The budget measures are comprehensive in the three areas that I view to be important for SME businesses right now. The first area will be internationalization. There is already holistic support for free trade agreements and government agencies, and now SMEs can benefit from the financial grants and tax deductions when they incur expenses in going overseas. The second area would be financing. The budget encourages financing support to businesses from early stage funding to growth capital and to eventually listing on the Singapore Exchange. And the third will be AI. We are at a pivotal point in AI development and adoption. For businesses, it is now possible to uplift an entire operating model and to create tangible productivity gains. This budget provides SMEs with programs, grants, and tax deductions to support businesses in their enterprise transformation and workforce training.
All right, quite a fair bit of support for SMEs. Eric, what stood out for your initial reactions?
I'm very excited to see the merger between Workforce Singapore and SkillsFutures. It means for SME like ourselves, applying for training grants will be easier. We don't need to decide which agency to go to. Now there will be only one. And for workers, I feel that there will be better alignment between training and jobs. So for example, if you go for a digital marketing course, you're not trained just to how to post, what to post, but also what jobs require digital marketing skills. Where are these jobs? If you decide to not work for anyone, can you be an influencer? How to negotiate with advertising agency? So I think this will be so much better with the alignment. That means more workers will be able to find jobs after their trainings.
Right, better alignment and also better support and a one-stop shop for folks trying to get upskilled. All right, let's get you into the conversation, Ting Feng. What were the initial reactions to budget 2026?
I think it's an exciting budget. I think overall, I think there are many surgical catalysts to really help companies transform and grow. I think what's most exciting for us at GetGo is really the holistic approach towards the capital markets ecosystem. So all the way from the top-ups to the SG Startup Equity Fund to the top-ups to the Financial Sector Development Fund. I think the government is really taking a whole of life cycle approach to help companies really grow and establish global champions from Singapore. So as a rapidly growing and scaling company, I think we're really excited about what that means for us in terms of tapping the capital markets to continue to grow and scale both here and eventually overseas as well.
Yeah, so eye on the future when we look at budget 2026. So I'm quite curious what all of you are seeing on the ground when you look at the business sentiment right now. And so, Ling, what do you see right now when you talk about the mood among SMEs right now? We did get better than expected numbers in the latest Q4 GDP reading.
That's
What
right.
are you sensing?
I would describe the mood as measured, but with some optimism. And I'd like to share about our business pulse check survey, where we released earlier this week. So we reached out to more than 700 local SMEs across industry segments. And for me, two findings stood out when it comes to describing the mood on the ground. The first finding is 53%, so just more than half, expect the Singapore's economy to perform positively this year. And the remaining respondents are neutral or feeling negative. And the second finding would be 57% of these businesses anticipate a better business performance this year as compared to last year. So this survey result is quite aligned with my own engagements with customers who are cautiously optimistic. So this is especially so for businesses that are benefiting from government spending or from macro trends such as more investments in technology. But that said, I do see SME businesses feeling cautious because there are still challenges. There will be volatility in global conditions, which is now the new norm for businesses. And this affects trade flows, supply chains, consumer spending. And of course, SMEs still have to be careful in managing their cash flows and operating costs. Because in this same survey, we found that 94% of respondents have cited rising business costs.
All right. Eric, are you aligned with that view of cautious optimism?
I think there will be still a lot of concern about costs, hiring costs, cost of goods. Hopefully, with more focus on AI, costs can come down. We can scale internationally, which maybe I'll talk about later.
Okay, and of course, Ting Feng, you've got your eye on the ground as well. What are you sensing when you look around you?
I think there is a sense of optimism, like Zerling said, coupled with this, I think, deep understanding that we as companies need to continue to be disciplined, right? And so I think particularly for us at GetGo, I would describe this year and the next couple of years as years of disciplined ambition. So you want to grow, but you really got to watch your costs and really learn and grow and transform your organization to be lean and yet growing at the same time.
Oh, okay, that's a good point to make. Growing strategically, carefully, calibrating yourself for what's to come. And what's to come is, I think, AI. A lot of conversations around how that's going to be part of our life right now, how we work, live, and play, and also a part of business. Ting Feng, how are you adopting AI as part of your business? How do the latest round of budget measures help you towards that goal?
Yeah, I think GetGo, we like to consider ourselves as early adopter of AI. As early as 2024, we really started looking at how this transformational technology can help us with our operations, but also at the same time, very importantly, upskill our people, right? So an example I'd like to give is that, in the past, we used to have customer support managers managing a shift of people to respond to customer queries. And with the adoption of AI, actually, we managed to transform these roles into AI bot managers. And their duties are now to train and make sure that our AI agents are performing well alongside our human agents as well. So we see AI really as, of course, it's a threat if you look at it from that perspective, but it's really a tremendous opportunity, not just for companies, but also for people and for talents as well. So if you take that approach and that mindset, it really unlocks a lot of possibilities for companies and individuals.
Yeah, opportunities in the so-called disruption and job transformation under a GetGo. How is it looking for you, Eric, at IOL?
Yeah. With AI, my business has, the revenue has gone up. We are also able to scale internationally. So I was part of the DBS Sparks program. One of the vendors from that program was a website designer. So when I asked them to help me design my website, so they use AI to analyze my potential customer base. After the new website gone live, I suddenly got more requests internationally, and from US, from Middle East, and Europe. So that is good. And now we are rolling out AI coach, using one of the agent, Manners AI. With this AI coach, we are able to offer coaching 24 hours, 7 days a week. And clients can ask any question, even embarrassing question that they will not want to ask a human coach. And thirdly, this is going to be at a fraction of a human coach. So that is good. And if our clients, after using this AI coach, feel that they still want a human coach, then we can connect them with many coaches in our database or with those coaches in Singapore.
Right, so exciting opportunities to really scale up with that potential for AI. Talking about scaling up at GetGo, Ting Feng, how do you think about scaling up and upskilling in that sense? Because when you think about upskilling, there's that trade-off. You have to allocate time for people to go for training and so on. How do you think about those things? Upskilling, job transformation without slowing down the business?
Yeah, I think we have to look at it from a pool perspective. I think when you see opportunities that the technology allows you to accomplish, you naturally want to invest in it, and people naturally want to learn about these new technologies. So the trick here is really how do you design that as part of on-the-job work? How do you make it incremental as part of our team's daily lives, and how we incorporate it as part of their workflows as well? And I think with transformation, I think there comes productivity gains, and that comes an opportunity to recognize people as well. So a lot of it is really around finding the right use cases and aligning that with the motivations of our team. And then it doesn't feel like a trade-off anymore.
Right.
It feels like we are making progress, we're getting better, and we're getting stuff done in a much more efficient manner as well. So that's how we see jobs transformation.
Right, so important to get a buy-in across the board, making sure that the motivations are all aligned. All right, let's talk about what is the next stage of growth for many SMEs, which is to look overseas. So Ling, word on the street is more SMEs are looking to go overseas. What is driving that interest, especially when you look around the uncertainty in the current backdrop? And how are the budget measures right now helping to de-risk that move?
After the trade disruptions last year, I do see that there is a strategic shift in terms of how SMEs are thinking about internationalization. There's just that increasing willingness to try and to explore. And there are two main drivers for their interest. The first is to reach new customers, to diversify revenue streams and markets. And the second driver is about supply chain, to build in that resilience and to make it more cost efficient. In the same pulse check survey that I described earlier, we found that 8 out of 10 respondents plan to expand overseas this year. So that's a very high percentage. And these expansions may come in various forms. So some SMEs may decide to establish a physical operation in the overseas market. Some may decide to stay in Singapore, but they're still selling to overseas markets or buying from overseas suppliers. In this budget, we see that there are support levels for schemes of up to 70% for SMEs. So that's good. We see that the market readiness assistance grant has been enhanced, so that's good. And we are seeing tax deductions for expenses when it comes to qualifying activities. So these budget measures do help to provide some relief for SMEs to go overseas. But that said, these budget measures alone will not be sufficient to propel SMEs to go overseas. In the same survey, we found that SMEs also face challenges in terms of understanding rules and regulations in another market. They find that they need to look at business partners and get access to market insights. So this is where the entire ecosystem needs to come together to support the SMEs. And I will include business chambers, trade associations, banks, and of course government agencies.
Well, 8 in 10 local SMEs looking to expand overseas this year. So that's quite encouraging. Eric, let's talk about your plans when you look at what you're doing in terms of expansion. Where are you right now when it comes to expansion?
So now, mainly I'm in Asia. So with AI, we want to expand our customer base more internationally. Just now I talked about using the AI coach. That is a starting point for customers to know us. Once they know us, once they know that we have this company in Singapore, they will, because they trust Singapore, and they can get coaching services, they can get speakers, they can even get influencer from Singapore to market some of their brands. So now, without me traveling as much as last year, I believe I can do even more business.
Okay, looking good for 2026.
Yes.
How about you, Ting Feng? How does that look for you right now?
Yeah, I think discipline and ambition, right? I think for us, if we were to expand overseas, we actually need to land and operate there. We are not a software service. So we take a very deliberate and careful approach when we think about where we want to go. We were fortunate enough to be part of Enterprise Singapore's scale-up program, and working with them and working with some of the government agencies, I think we're really actively developing our plans to land somewhere within the next 1 to 2 years as well. So we're very excited about this opportunity. And I think venturing overseas requires us to be strong at home. Right? So a lot of these measures that help us build strong companies, transform our skills and our capabilities, is what really then allows us to take that step overseas as well.
All right, watch this space for those plans. And let's take a look at what maybe a message SMEs should take away from this entire budget. So, Ling, what's one mindset shift that SMEs should make this year to navigate the uncertainty more confidently? What would you say to them?
The uncertainty is here to stay. In this business environment, we have to embrace change. But that said, I'm also very mindful that many SME businesses face very real constraints around their time and resources. So as SMEs look through this entire range of budget measures, I would encourage them to consider the one big thing that will make the most impact, that will create the most economic value. Whether is it expanding to a new market, whether is it adopting technology to optimize an operation or to serve their customers. And whatever that choice, start with that one single focus to create momentum around the enterprise transformation. After all, doing a business and running one is a marathon, not a sprint.
All right. Great snapshot of what Budget 2026 means for SMEs and the business community. We've been in conversation with Chen Ling. He is the Group Head of Corporate and SME Banking for DBS. We've got Eric Sim, founder of the Institute of Life, and Ting Feng, CEO and co-founder of GetGo. Thank you, everyone, for your time today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right, great chatting with all of you. Stay with Money FM 89.3 for more Budget 2026 coverage.
Money FM 89.3.